This is the shir for day 3 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC. This is for Siman Aleph, Sifim Yud Zayin through Chav Beis. We start with Siman Yud Zayin, Sif Yud Zayin. Because Rabbeinu Ramah, the Ramah writes at the beginning of Shulchan Aruch, Shavisi Hashem lenegdi tamid, uklal gadol b'torah v'malos tzadikim. To place God before me always is the great principle in Torah and in ascending the levels of tzadikim. Asher, or the ascents of tzaddikim. There's several ways you can read that. Asher ochim lifnei Elokim, who go before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ke'en yeshiva sa'adam etnuoso v'asaka v'levada b'beiso. The way a person sits and he acts with his movements and his involvements when he's alone at home. Kishivasa v'snuoso v'asaka, like his sitting and his moving and his involvements when he's in front of a great king. Velo diburov archavas piv kirtsono, and his speech and the expansion of his mouth, obviously his elaboration of his speech, are kirtsono, or as he pleases. V'imanche beiso, with members of his household, ukrovav, and his relatives, Kediburo b'moshav HaMelech, as the way he speaks when he's in the presence of the king. Koshike, and certainly so. Shiyasima dam el libo, that a person puts upon his heart. Shamelech HaGadol Kodesh Baruch Hu, that the great King Hashem, Hashem Molech Kol Eretz Kvodo, whose glory fills the entire land. Omeid Alav, stands over him, V'ro Eben Ma'asav, and sees his deeds. K'moshe Ne'amar, as the pasuk says, Im yisaser ish b'mistarim v'ani lo renu, Num Hashem. Will a person be able to hide in a hiding place, and I won't be able to see him? Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Miyad, when he contemplates this, immediately Yagia Elav Hayirav Achnoah, and we come to him fear and submission. B'pachad Hashem Yisbarach, in the fear of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, uvoshtem and his embarrassment before him at all times. V'gam b'atznei alechas, even when he is in a place which is private. And when he lies on his bed, he knows before whom he's lying. Therefore, immediately when he gets up in the morning, or whenever he gets up from a nap as well, when he wakes up from his sleep, he should get up with the diligence, with speed. To serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his Creator, may he be blessed and uplifted. And you should not be embarrassed before people who taunt him concerning his service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Is what it means to say. Evidently there's some slight deviation from the Ramah here. This is the end of the quote from the Ramah. And the Ramah is saying two things, says Arukh HaShulchan. Since the Kodesh Baruch Hu is constantly over him, even when he's in a private place, meaning even when he's alone, or with his wife, Pizarro, and his children, or his descendants, you should behave with fear and with submission, as if he's standing before the king. This is also brought down by the Rambam, which is the source of the words, see there. Vodomar also says, the Rambam, presumably, person should always have this fear and this embarrassment before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, even when he's involved with other people, he should do whatever is incumbent upon him for Avodas Hashem. And he should not be embarrassed in front of people who taunt him. If there are people who taunt him, his embarrassment before HaKadosh Baruch Hu should overcome any embarrassment for human beings. You should also not fight with other people. This is from the Magen Avraham, Sifkat Beis. Fighting is a very low trait, something which we should denigrate. It brings a person to arrogance. A person should diss himself. He shouldn't even fight for things which are involved with mitzvahs. He should do his deeds for the purpose of Kodesh Baruch Hu, and not be concerned with other people taunting him. David, that which David HaMelech said, against those who rise against you, I will fight. This is in terms of a disputation in matters of religion, or where they're not allowing you to do mitzvahs, because there's no option. But if they're just taunting you, in that case you should not fight. Yudches. In the words of Ben Tema from Pirkei Avos, it became obvious, or was explained. That one has to be strong like a lion. Therefore, every morning when he gets up from his bed, he's got kari. He should become strong like a lion. To arise for the service of his Creator. Even as Yetzirah tries to persuade him, saying, "How can you get up in the morning? It's so cold in the middle of this winter." Or during the summer, the Yetzirah will say to you, "How can you rise? The night was so short, you were not able to satisfy yourself with your sleep." He's got overcome him. Yetzirah, arise. You should arouse the morning. Lo Yehu, not that the morning should arouse you. David, Ura Kavodi, awake my glory. Ura Neva, awake the Vachina, awaken musical instruments. I will wake up in the morning. I wake up in the morning, and the morning does not wake me up. And he when his harp played in the wind. And certainly true, the person will get up early in the morning, before the daybreak. To get up and supplicate before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Matovu umayofyo, how good it is and how beautiful that is. It's a quote from the Torah. If you cannot get up before the light of day, fortunately most of us do not do that nowadays. Nevertheless, the tefillah, which is the time for all people to come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you should not be late to it. The bracket says here, she's Tzibor, should try and happen with the minyan. You should think in your heart, worry in the service of a human king. And you will command him to rise up in the morning, for his service. He would be careful, meticulous, and speedy, to rise to the service of that king, like the king commanded him. It certainly goes without saying, that once you do that before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that which Ramah, this is why the Ramah wrote, in any event, if you can't get up before morning, you should not be later than the time when the tzibor is davening, and you should make sure that you daven with the tzibor, at least at the time that tzibor is davening. Yutes, David Amar, my prayers before you at a time when you are willing to hear it. Hashem says, at a time when I am willing, I respond to you. Shmamina, so from this we deduce, the word Vama says, that it's proper to seek a time when, so to speak, the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is amenable. Gemara Pirshu, the Gemara says, when is that time? At the time that the community is davening. And this is also stated in the Zohar in Parashas Truma. This is a quote from the Zohar. Tzininan, we learned, Ein Masai Ikra Eis Ratzon, when it's called a time of Ratzon, the will of God is amenable. B'shaita the tzibur kamatzlo, and at the time that the tzibur is davening, Ayin Sham. A number of Avomas Sham before the Chatzlo Slailo Eis Ratzon, Ayin Sham. Now it's true that in the Gemara, that in Avomas, it sounds like the time Eis Ratzon is at midnight. The Yom HaMavor, the Eis Ratzon up below Sha'ah Kavua below tzibur. And the Yom, the Gemara seems to indicate that's an Eis Ratzon, which is not at a specific time, and not necessarily when the tzibur is davening. The Chem Mavur Batainis. And so do we learn Maseches Tainis. Taidei Chalom Nizgal L'Rava. And a dream was revealed to Rava Sha'ina at a certain specific time, not the time of davening, who Eis Ratzon, it was a time when Hashem is amenable, Ayin Sham. They're all true. The Vada Yeshitim Kvuim Eis Ratzon. There are certain times which are standardized, and they are static, and they are times of Ratzon. Yesh Kabbalaytim Kvuim. Other Itei Ratzon, times of when Hashem is amenable, which are not at specific set times. It all works according to what Hashem decrees. Chav. The Kasva Tur Shulchan Arukh. See base. The Tur Shulchan right in the see base of Simon Aleph. Hamashkim Lischanev Nei Bar O. Somebody who rises up early to supplicate before Kodesh Baruch Hu. Yichavin L'Shos Shemishtanos Hamishmaros. You should try to do it at the time when the watches change. We know the Gemara says the brachas, the watches in Shemayim, just like the watches on land. Shem b'shlisha laila, 1/3 into the night. V'sov shnei shlisha laila, at the end of 2/3 of the night. V'sov alai, at the end of the night. Shat tefillah shishpab oson shows like churban about goes to see the davening, and one davens at those times concerning the destruction of Beis Hamikdash and the exile are wanted by Hashem and accepted by Hashem. The Davos and Mavor, this is explained Mimasha Omer B'Reish Brachos, but now which says at the beginning of Brachos, now Kol Mishmar Shoei Kiv Yochel Kari, and every Mishmar Kodesh Baruch Hu cries out roars like a lion, so to speak. You see, like it says, Hashem Mimarom Yish'ag, Hashem will roar out from on high. V'Gomer She'og Yish'ag Al Naveu, he will roar on his oasis, or on his special place, which has been destroyed. There is one language Gemara. This says not just a third, 2/3 in the end, but also in the middle of the middle watch, which is Asi Shapir, that works out well. The Chashigam Chatzos Badayu, as Dan means midnight, is also included. And that which doesn't say Chatzos in this sequence, Mishum the Chatzos have it because Chatzos is a time which is good for everything, not just for the Churban and for the Golus. The other 3 times are only Al Churban Beis Hamikdash, on the destruction of Beis Hamikdash. So that which the Kabbalists elaborate at length, the Chatzos who Eis Ratzon, that the midnight is a time when Hashem is amenable, and therefore it's a time of Bakesh Rachamim Al Churban. It's a good time to ask for mercy on the Churban, about Knesset Yisrael and the Jewish people in general. As the Shabbat down via Gemara, it also works according to this Gemara. The Chatzos who Eis, but so the Chol Davar v'Davar. Chol Davar. Chatzos is a time when Hashem is amenable for every type of tefillah. And the Mefarshim have difficulty how to reconcile Chatzos with Gemara about Mishmaros, about watches. How to reconcile midnight with the watches. He says, I just did it for you. And Magen Avraham says there's a machlokas in the Gemara. Lanias Daitienu Kain V'Duk, and Arukh HaShulchan himself says there is no machlokas, that Mishmaros are good for specifically Churban. Chatzos is good. Chatzos, midnight, is good for everything. Chaf Aleph. The Kasser Rabbeinu Beis Yosef, this is Sif Gimel. The Beis Yosef writes in Sif Gimel of Simon Aleph, Ro'il Chol Yirei Shemayim, Shem Eitzer B'Doega Churban Beis HaMikdash. It's appropriate for anybody who's God-fearing to be in anguish and concerned about the destruction of Beis HaMikdash. Nira del Elkain, it seems that he's going on what he stated previously, Al Shalosh Mishmaros, that at the time of 3 Mishmaros, that's with what you should be concerned. This comes to the language of the Rosh, in second Baron Brachos, who writes on these 3 Mishmarot in the following language. For royal choyrei shemaim shiyem meitzer b'doeg b'os hashah. It's appropriate for anybody who's God-fearing that he should be in anguish and concern at that time. Lishpoch tachanunim, and cast supplications al churban beis hamikdash, concerning the destruction of the beis hamikdash. K'mo shenemar kumigoni balayla, rise up and to pray at night. Rosh Ashmoros, at the beginning of the watches. Shivchi kamayim libech, at that time spill your heart like water. Hashem, Baruch Hu. Also, which it says later in Sif Dalet in the Shulchan Aruch, Tov ma tachanunim b'kavana. It's best to do a few supplications with kavana, with focus. Meharbos below kavana, than many without kavana. Ad kan l'shono. There's the end of a quote also from the Rush. Gamkein ahach inyona kai. It's also going in this matter. Churban beis hamikdash, instruction of the beis hamikdash. With divrei Torah shekasav ahach shlosh mishmoros. This comes from the words of the Torah, which writes as follows: "Vatfila she spelled both the shal churban." The davening when davening at the time on destruction of Beis Hamikdash. Ritzuya is very accepted. But when davening at length or when davening short, as long as you focus in your heart on your supplications. A little bit with kavana is better than a lot without kavana. End of the quote from the Torah. Let's say we have only an hour to do supplications, not more. Don't say a lot without focus. Better to do fewer. With kavana, with the focus. And he says an interesting thing. This is true about everything a person does. When a person learns Torah, when a person says Tehillim, etc. Every time, in everything, it's best a little bit with kavana than much without kavana. And according to the Kabbalists, Ikra tikunu b'chatzos laila. The primary tikkun is at chatzos. He brings down here in the Piskei Mishnah Berurah from Sifkat and Tes. Va'es li sonein al churban nachon yosef sheyech kodem chatzos mat. The time to mourn destruction should be a little bit before chatzos. Mechatzos ve'elachem, from midnight and on, yasok b'torah, you should learn Torah. V'sof alayli v'akishtrochav, and at the end of the night you should ask for your general needs. Some people then say the Kapitel Tehillim about Kuf Lamed Shomrim Laboker. Back to the Arukh HaShulchan. He says say Chatzos at Chatzos Tikun Chatzos, not a little bit before Moshe, but it's the way it's printed in the story. It's also true according to Gemara, which he cited above. Chatzos is the midnight. Yud Beis Sha'os Achar Chatzos Hayom, 12 hours after midday. Whether it is summer or winter. That is the opinion of most of the Gedolim, and that is the primary opinion. In parentheses, he says, in brackets, Beis Yosef is not coming to tell us to mourn the Beis Hamikdash, to remember the Churban Beis Hamikdash. The Pshita, obviously, that's an obligation. Sharei b'shmona esrei shlosha brachas kulas lezen. Shmona esrei, there are 3 brachas on that topic. Yerushalayim esemech an ritzei. V'gam b'gras hamazon bracha kulas lezen. And in benching, we have also a paragraph set aside for this. Kodim b'rachas mazon, and before benching, nogin l'mar al naros bavel. People say al naros bavel, which is also zechel churban. Shabbos Yot Rosh Chodesh Shir Hamalos, which is also has an allusion, but not as direct to the Churban. Zorim Bedima, people who plant with tears, and here it brings down here Mishnah Berurah Sifkat Inav. But Shabbos Chen Yom Mishen Omrim Bayam Tachnun Yom Shir Hamalos. Similar idea. That's not just Shabbos. But he adds on Mishnah Berurah, anything which Tachnun is not recited. One does not say Al Naros, one says Shir Hamalos. going back to Arukh HaShulchan, the Kama Zichronos Anosim L'Churban Beis HaMikdash, we make several commemorations to the Churban. Especially in the 3 weeks. Who is the Jew who could possibly forget to mourn the Churban? But rather, he's going to tell us that this is specifically about the relationship between the Churban and the time of the Mishmaros. Like we wrote for Duk. Understand that well. Chav because the two of Rishon Sif Hey, Tovim are Parshas Akedah, Parshas Amon. It's a good thing to say the parsha of binding of Yitzchak and parsha where the money was given. Parshas Akedah is of course in Vayera, Parshas Akedah, and Parshas Amon in B'Shalach. Vaseres Hadibos and the 10 Commandments, Parshas Yisro, Parshas Ola, Minchos Shlomi Chatos V'Hashem Akad L'Shalom, and Korbanos, which is printed in the Siddur. Sif Tes Kos Rabbeinu Yosef Sheyesh No Gil Lomar Parshas Akiyar. Some people begin with the parsha where it discusses the making of the kior, which is where the water came from, for kiddush shadayim raglayim, to wash the hands and feet of the kohanim. Uparshas Shumas Hadeshen, where the parsha which refers to removing the daily removal of the ashes from the outer mizbeach, the outer altar. V'char Parshas Atomim, and then the psukim of the daily korban brought in the morning and the evening. Char Parshas Mizbeach Miktar Ktores, and then the psukim which relates to the inner mizbeach and to the bringing of the Ktores, and Parshas Samoni Ktores, and the parsha of what the Ktores is made up of. That's also and how it's performed. Akan L'Shoro. That's the end. Quote from the Shulchan Aruch. Siv Cheskos Av Yomar in Parshas Akrabonos. You should say together with the Parshas Kamaros the pasuk. V'shachat Sol Yarach Mizbeach Safon Ifnei Hashem. You should slaughter the tamid on the side of Mizbeach on the north before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Akan L'Shono. Mishum Isa Medrash Rabbah. Why should you make sure to say this pasuk? Because the Medrash Rabbah says, V'shosh Omri Yisrael pasuk Zeh. When Am Yisrael says this pasuk, Nizah HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Akedas Yitzchak, Hashem recalls the binding of Yitzchak. And our custom is to say it Achar Parshas Atomim, after we say the psukim of the Tamid.